Well, a lot went down today, and there's not even a good way to segue into the conversations we're about to have, so let's get into it.
Hey, this is Brandon Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, we have a lot to talk about as Dillion Dube gets a look at. We also have, he's back. That is right. Robby Fabbri is back, baby. He just has to stay healthy. And of course, what is the plan? You can tell I'm very excited about Robby coming back, but we have a lot to get to on today's episode. And I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL Live bets all season long. I cannot wait to talk about Robby Fabbri, but we're going to have to talk about Dillion Dube first. Does it make sense to me? No, it does not make sense. And listen, we all have our opinions and our thoughts on what happened with Hockey Canada. And when the players were found not guilty, I believe it was this past summer, I did an episode on it because, again, there was always a chance that some of these players might come back into the NHL. Carter Hart is with the Vegas Golden Knights. And right now, we have one of the players involved. And while this is on the T-Birds, it's still an affiliate with our team. And we have to kind of address it, right? Because I've seen another podcast that does daily blues content. And they didn't really talk about it that much. They kind of just said, oh, well, he played well in the KHL. Okay. I just want to put this out here. The KHL isn't the same as the NHL. And it's a completely different game with even rink size and all of that. So, first off, saying that, and that's all you say, kind of irresponsible, but we can continue on. I was a little bit surprised about this because at the end of the day, right, do I think that Dillion Dube is the fix to this Blues team? I'm not talking about his past. I'm not talking about any of that. I am strictly talking about hockey. Do I think that he can help this team? Well, my answer is no. Now, he is on a professional tryout with the T-Birds, and, he is going to get a work visa, right? And as I said, he did play in the KHL with 11 points, 4 goals, 7 assists, and 25 penalty minutes in 42 regular season games during the 24-25 season. And it's interesting, right? Because with the 6 seasons that he was with Calgary, he had 127 points with 57 goals and 70 assists and 105 penalty minutes in 325 games. He was all right with the Flames, okay? I am not going to deny that. I'm not. I completely think that any single person that watched Dillion Dube in the NHL back in the day before everything went down could say that he was a fine player, right? But my only issue is that I don't know if his success, and I say success loosely, is going to translate in the NHL or even the AHL. I don't know. And if maybe Dillion Dube was on a different AHL team, I would feel differently about it. But I just feel like right now this is a little bit of a situation. I mean, I know that he's a center, right? But he does play the wing position. So there is still, and I'm not saying talking strictly hockey, there is still a chance for him to prove himself and maybe come up here. But I don't know. I have a really hard time. I have a really difficult time actually saying confidently that I think he'll make the team. And this has nothing to do with what he did with the Hockey Canada. Um, this is purely based on hockey. I don't know. Now, again, do I root for him? I don't know. It's really odd. You know, unlike some of these other podcasts, right? That do the breaking news and the clickbait titles, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I keep it real on this podcast because I am a credentialed NHL reporter. I am also a human being. And I want this Blues team to be successful. But I'm kind of confused when it comes to Doug Armstrong. And the reason for my confusion is this. You trade for Mayu. You give a PTO to Lucic and now Dubé. People have said that we're like the Vegas Golden Knights, but the Walmart version. And all I am going to say is that I am confused when it comes to maybe the culture of this team. Listen, I I have a really difficult time as a woman even voicing how I feel because I know how it's going to be taken. I know that it's going to be, "Hale, you know, you're just upset because of what happened with the trial." Listen, I said it back then and I'll say it now. The judge found them not guilty. I think they call it the judge in Canada. And they found them not guilty. Okay, that's a fact. What I can say though, when I said this even back in the summertime, was that it's still a long time for these guys not to be in the NHL. I mean, Carter Hart, I know that he's had a really good start in net for the VGK, and I hate the Golden Knights. That has nothing to do with Carter Hart. Like, I just hate the VGK. And I wasn't expecting him to play that well, but again, I mean, you never know. And for Dillion Dube being in the KHL, what I can say as a hockey player, I'm glad that he has at least that, right? It's not like he wasn't playing competitive hockey, but it's a different rink size. So I don't know. Let me know what you think because I truly am having a really difficult time supporting this decision by Doug Armstrong. It makes me very confused and it makes me question. It really does. It just makes me question the culture. And I want to pull up a statement that we got sent today from the media. And I feel like this statement, right? It was interesting just because the fact that you have to have a statement multiple times this season over your players, I don't know. Maybe there's a bigger issue. So I'm going to read to you the statement. I'm not taking a picture of you. If so, smile if you're on YouTube because you can see my phone. But I'm just reading a statement. The St. Louis Blues have signed Dillion Dube to a professional tryout with our AHL affiliate following the process set forth by the National Hockey League and its Players Association upon his reinstatement. This decision follows a comprehensive review of the details of his case and discussions at all levels of our organization. We are confident in the decision to offer the tryout and will provide the necessary support to ensure Dillon contributes positively both on the ice and in the community. We will always hold our players to the highest of standards, consistent with the core values of our organization, and that will be emphasized as we move forward. Hmm. I see. That puts such a bad taste in my mouth. And why is it that we sign multiple players and there has to be statements? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like the Logan Mayu stuff, yeah, it was bad, but not that we excused it, but we said, you know what? You know, uh, he made a mistake. I don't know, like, bro, I'm embarrassed. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm doing this segment because I need to talk about the culture of this team. You know, wins and losses are inevitable in hockey. Obviously, we want to win and we're not doing that. But man, like, this is so embarrassing to me as a Blues fan, where we have all of these types of players this season that have done things that are not good. Guilty, not guilty. It's still such a bad look when it comes to the culture of this team. It is. And I question Doug Armstrong on his decision making. I question so many things about this team. I don't get it. Why can't we have more players like Robert Thomas's or Jake Neighbors or good guys that are not in any drama? And mind you, when it comes to the Hockey Canada, I mean, Robert Thomas is on that team. Great guy. Jordan Kyrou was on that team. Great guy. Like, I am not saying that we shouldn't give people second chances, but what I am saying is you're it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating having sent a public statement about why you have signed a player to a tryout again. Again. Like, I am trying my best to be neutral on this. I am, because I do care about the success of the Blues. But I am very, very frustrated about what is going on. And I encourage you, if you are a Blues fan like me, to talk about it, to not just voice it in. I mean, listen, I'm a woman doing a hockey podcast for a living. So, you can only imagine that I know that there's going to be people that are going to be like, she just is upset that he wasn't found guilty. It has nothing to do with that. We already talked about that. It's just embarrassing having statements being put out about guys that you give tryouts to or you sign or you trade because of things that they have done. That's all I'm saying. It's just embarrassing and a bad look. And I didn't crash out. I'm just frustrated and I'm trying to make it sound good and not like I'm rambling too much. Okay, let's go talk about the fact that he's back. And yeah, I'm yelling that because I'm excited because you'll hear why. But Monarch, the holidays are amazing, but they can also get overwhelming fast. Travel, gifts, parties, year-end expenses. It's really easy to lose track of your money this time of year. And that's exactly why Monarch has become such a game changer for me. If you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you need to be using Monarch, rated Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Monarch is the all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, simple dashboard. The holiday spending category can be a lifesaver. You can see exactly what's left in your gift and travel budget in real time. So this holiday season, make sure to check that out and don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. He's back. Yes, I'm going to say it again because I'm so excited about this. Robby is home. That is right. I thought it was a joke. I was actually on Twitter and I saw it and I was like, that can't be correct because it wasn't like an insider who posted it. It was like a Blues fan account. I'm like, there's no way that he is back, but he is back. And I am so happy about this. I mean, he needs to stay healthy first off. But my man, Robby Fabbri, is back wearing the blue note. And we also have news that states that he might be able to go this Thursday as the Blues host the Nashville Predators. And oh man, am I excited about this. There's certain players that we love, right? And Robby happens to be one of them. He happens to be one of my favorite players, not even just, with the Blues, but just in general in the NHL. And for me personally, right? I just was like, there's no way. There's no way that he is back. Like, there was no way that he came back home. But he is. He is back home. And I want to know your reaction to it because my first reaction was, oh my gosh, he's back. Like, that's literally all I thought. Like, I was just so excited about it. I really can't even process how insane it is to think about the fact that Robby Fabbri is back. But he is, and I couldn't be happier. And we did draft him, by the way, 21st overall in that first round, 2014. Wow, that was a long time ago. Well, he's 29 now, which isn't like old. Feels it, but he's not. Like, he's been around forever, I feel like. But yes, of course, he was a part of our cup winning team. So, again, it holds a lot of sentimental value. But nonetheless, he did spend a good amount of time in Detroit, and then he was with Anaheim last season. But let's talk about what happened, how this trade came about, because this was not like quite a trade, but this was definitely like a trade where it's like, oh, wow, this happened. So it was announced today that the Blues have signed Robby Fabbri to a 1-year, 2-way contract. The NHL is under $1 million, and then the AHL is about $300,000. And yes, he is joining the team Thursday in Nashville. I'm just like shocked, honestly. So anyways, here's the thing. Oh man, I don't want to cry right now. I'm not going to cry right now. I'm just like so happy about this. I'm so happy about this because this is honestly what the Blues have needed so badly. And oh man, like he has gone unsigned since the Ducks like elected to let him walk during free agency last summer. And he landed with the Penguins for training camp on a PTO and was released. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. But he did land a tryout with the Panthers AHL affiliate, the Charlotte Checkers, at the beginning of December. And yeah, so he was released from that to get this opportunity. So yeah, we all know that Robby, you know, He's not the same Robby Fabbri that we used to love and see. But at the same time, he is going to be reliable. But those injuries, man, it did keep him out of a regular role in our cup winning postseason. But he still did score once in 10 games on the Blues' run. And I mean, man, like, he was dealt to the Red Wings. Like, that's crazy. And his time in Detroit was injuries. Like, he had an ACL surgery. Like, there's a lot of things going on with him, which not so good. More knee problems, a hand fracture, like a lot of issues that then translate to Anaheim. So here's the thing, okay? He's going back to the NHL on a very bad Blues team. So he definitely gets an opportunity to redeem himself. But of course, I'm happy about Robby Fabbri and seeing him again wearing the blue note. And then he can retire wearing the blue note, even though he's 29. And I'm saying that it's old. It's not old. I'm feeling old. All right. What's the plan for the Blues? Well, let's talk about FanDuel first. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live bets, they're best when the game starts to shift, okay? A receiver gets hot, a defenseman tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover, and FanDuel lets you jump in to the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props adjust as the guys heat up. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. So, Dillion Dube, Robby Fabbri, what's the plan? What are we doing? It's like a Band-Aid. The Blues are like bleeding out a wound, and right now, the Blues management, aka Doug Armstrong, is taking a Band-Aid, a small Band-Aid, mind you, not like one of those big-sized Band-Aids, but those small little Band-Aids that don't cover enough, and is sticking it on and saying, here, everything will be fine. Everything will not be fine. We have 7 guys injured. Jordan Kyrou, that's a big loss. People hate on him all the time. I'll never get it, but they do. That's a big loss not to have Kyrou. And you're expecting my guy, Robby Fabbri, to come in and to do what Kyrou's doing. That's impossible. Are you expecting Dillion Dube to have a successful PTO with the T-Birds? Or, like, what is the plan, Doug? I want to know what the plan is. Is the plan to tank? Because if so, the Blues are doing a great job at that. I mean, after falling to the Boston Bruins 5-2, like, what are we doing? This is a team that is embarrassing me. Okay? They are embarrassing me. They're embarrassing this whole entire fan base. I mean, for crying out loud, we are making some of the biggest mistakes, the turnovers, the defense plays 2 up. I mean, I was watching last night's game, and I don't know how many times I rolled my eyes or I said, stop inching up. Like, it just became a point where there's so much that needs to be fixed. And I don't believe that these guys are going to be able to do it. So instead of Doug saying, hey, let's go try to trade for a really good player that's a little bit younger, that we can depend on for some time to come. No. Instead, it's, hey, Dillion Dube, PTO with the T-Birds. Hey, Robby Fabbri, do you want to come back? Like, what are we doing? What is the plan? Does Doug Armstrong even have a plan? And I'm not trying to say that in a sarcastic manner. I am trying to say that as a ticked off Blues fan because watching last night's game, it was embarrassing. Seeing Morgan Geeky mock us, embarrassing. All of it is so embarrassing. And I'm trying to be optimistic because I love this team. I do. Okay. I love the Blues. It's like a love hate relationship where I hate what's going on right now, but of course I'm going to love my team. But I feel like there's no plan. And every day it's like something new, but something that's not beneficial. And I don't see the benefit. I'm sorry. I don't see the benefit in this being your only solution. I don't. I think that if you have Robby, Fabbri, but also another player that's, as I mentioned, younger and more skilled and all of the above, less injury prone, I could get on board with it. But I'm not going to actively be saying, at least like personally, yeah, I am hoping Dillion Dube does really well on that PTO and he's able to come up. Like that's, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do that. We're missing too many guys. Snuggie, Walker, Kyrou. Like, what is happening? Bookstead. That's another one last night. Like, the Blues are self-imploding. This is bad. I guess we're going to focus on the draft because the playoffs, and again, that person still is coming at me for me saying I don't think the Blues are going to the playoffs. They're so upset that I said that, even though they're literally not going to be going to the playoffs. So, well, I don't know. We'll see, but I don't think so. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.